What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about both silver and gold, as well as the stock market and how everything is reacting right now to the most recent inflation report that just came out on Friday, which was a disaster, by the way, the worst one we've had this entire year, and for a couple of different reasons, including some reasons that you probably haven't thought about. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel, come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club for giveaways, live streams, deal alerts, and a whole lot more, and of course, make sure to go and get your 6 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. If you refer 1 friend, they're going to give you 10 free stocks, and if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you 1 to 15 free shares of Apple. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Monday, June 13th, 2022. The current spot price of silver, as I'm filming the video, is $21.61. It's down 29 cents today so far, or down 1.32%. It was up by quite a bit on Friday, down quite a bit today so far. Spot price of gold is $18.56.90. It's down $15.30 today so far, or down 0.82%. Again, it was very green on Friday, pretty red today. And of course, the gold to silver ratio is in the 85 to 86 to 1 range. But of course, that's as I'm filming the video, not as I'm editing, posting, or as you're watching. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. Alright, so, as I'm sure you're all probably aware by now, the latest inflation report for the month of May was just released on Friday. Here we are on Monday, because unfortunately I couldn't get to it, because every week I film Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's videos in advance to give myself a 3-day break from the internet, and just know, if I could film 7 videos in one day and stay offline for the other 6, believe me, I would. But anyway, I got a chance to review this report, and all I can say is, oh man, let's just get into it. So before we even break down the report, we can see that the big headline number for inflation in the month of May climbed its way up to 8.6%. according to CPI, another 40-year high. If you remember, back in March, the inflation report said 8.5%. Then in April, it dropped down to 8.3%. This drew 2 main conclusions. Number 1, some people started celebrating that 0.2% drop, because although it wasn't too substantial of a change, going from 8.5 to 8.3 is technically moving in a downward direction for the first time this entire year. That's normally something to celebrate, but people may have been celebrating prematurely. And then of course 2, the other conclusion, or I guess more of a concern, was that inflation may have plateaued. The only thing almost as bad as inflation continuing to soar is inflation staying where it's at when it just so happens to be all the way up in the sky. So that was March, which we learned about in April, which we learned about in May, and now here we are talking about May, which we're obviously learning about in June, 8.6% as the big headline inflation number. This already isn't good, but it's even worse to know that analyst expectations were that inflation was actually going to be dropping down even further, this time by an even smaller amount, not by 0.2, but this time by 0.1. I remember looking into this about a week and a half ago, and I saw we were supposed to see 8.2%, down from 8.3, but instead we're looking at 8.6, back on the rise. Another miss on expectations. Just like the last report, where we missed on month over month, year over year, and core inflation, not to mention a miss on GDP expectations for the first quarter of the year and the New York manufacturing report. Not good. But now let's take a look at what's inside and see what's really going on here according to this report. Food is up 1.2% for the month. That's 10.1% year over year. Energy is up 3.9% for the month. That's 34.6% year over year. Gasoline is up 4.1% for the month. That's 48.7% year over year. New vehicles are up 1% for the month. That's 12.6% year over year. Used vehicles are up 1.8% for the month. That's 16.1% year over year. Apparel is up 0.7% for the month. That's 5% for the year. Shelter is up 0.6%. That's 5.5% year over year. Medical care services up 0.4% for the month, or up 4% year over year. That's not good. And I wanted to point something out really fast. I want to really laser in on March, April, and May. You can see right here on the screen, if we look at March, if we go down that list of numbers, I know the categories are cut off, but I just wanted to focus on some of the negatives there. Because look at March, toward the bottom. We have negative 0.4%, we have negative 3.8%. Then in April, when we actually saw the headline number begin to start moving in a downward direction, or so we thought, we had negative 2.7%, negative 5.4%, negative 6.1%. Down a little bit further, we have negative 0.4%, negative 0.8%. So in March and April, even though inflation was still crazy high, we saw some negatives. We saw some categories beginning to inflect down, and in certain months we actually had core inflation moving in a downward direction. It was just being pulled up by mainly food and energy. But now let's look at May. Let's look at some of the negatives for May. If you go down the list, you'll see that we don't have any. Not one category moved in a downward direction. Not one category is not on the rise. May of 2022, the most recent inflation report, the one that we're looking at and focusing on today, every single category moving in an upward direction. We can't say, oh, but core inflation is inflecting down. A lot of categories are moving in a downward direction. That headline number is being pulled up because of this and that being on the rise. Oh, it's because of food. Oh, it's because of energy. No. This report, every single category moving in an upward direction. That's not good. And I don't want to sit here focusing on, the doom and the gloom and talk about what's wrong and what's horrible and what's terrible and what's bad. That's not what I want to be focusing on here. That's just what we're looking at. There aren't any positives to point out in this report. That's not good. And in response to all of this, on Friday, I know I'm running a couple days late here, but on Friday, we actually saw the silver and gold strengthen a little bit. We saw silver and gold move in an upward direction. We also saw the stock market get completely butchered. Last week, Monday and Tuesday, we were in the green. Wednesday and Thursday, we were in the red. And then on Friday, we were deep in the red. Took the biggest hit that I can remember seeing in quite a bit of time. And we've seen quite a bit of red this entire year so far. But yesterday, a massive red day. Absolutely everything is on sale. So before we get back into the silver and gold, let me just issue another friendly reminder to go and get your 6 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Refer one friend and they're going to give you 10 free stocks for the referral. And if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, they're going to give you 1 to 15 free shares of Apple. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. Don't pass up on an opportunity. But now moving away from stocks, moving away from the inflation report, moving away from all of that, let's now get back into the silver and the gold. You can see on screen everything on display today. Have a nice little selection. We have some maples, kangaroos, American eagles. We have some creatures of the north. We have some Queen's beets. We have some 1, 5, and 10 ounce silver bars. We have some fractional gold. We have that Aztec calendar around. We have some 90% in the bottom right corner right there. A nice little selection, a little bit of everything, I guess you can say. But I wanted to talk about something specific. When it comes to the silver, when it comes to the gold, and I talk about this once a month, how to fight inflation with inflation. And I don't care if it's stacking that you're focusing on right now. I don't care if it's investing that you're focusing on right now. Whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're playing financial offense or playing financial defense, consider using that headline inflation number to your advantage. If you are, let's just say, stacking silver, and you were going to put, I don't know, $500 into silver this month. Let's just say that's just what you were going to do. Let's just say that's what the plan was. Maybe you do that every month. $500, give or take. You might want to consider increasing that by 8.6%. Instead of putting $500 into silver this month, you might want to just simply consider putting a little bit closer to $540, maybe $550 into silver, just by simply inflating how much you're putting into the beautiful white metal. Or maybe it wasn't a set dollar amount that you were going to put into silver this month. Maybe it was a specific number of troy ounces of silver. Maybe you were going to go after, I don't know, 100 ounces of silver this month. Consider inflating that by 8.6%. Instead of getting 100 ounces of silver, consider 108, 109, give or take. And you don't have to go precisely by that headline inflation number. It's just a rough idea. If inflation's 8.6%, maybe that's an indicator that we should be inflating the stack by 8.6%. We're inflating how much silver we're picking up or how much gold we're picking up by 8.6%, or somewhere within that range, just ballpark. That's something that I've been running with for most of this year so far, and the first time I said it as a joke. And then the second I said it out loud, the second those words came out of my mouth, I thought to myself, hey, you know what? I said that as a joke, but it kind of makes sense. Doesn't really seem to be a half bad idea at all, if I'm going to be honest with you. That actually might work out. That actually might make perfect sense. And by the way, the same thing goes for investing. Maybe you're investing in something that is considered to be recession proof. Yeah, it might take a hit during rocky times, but it always bounces back. Maybe you're investing in something that has not only survived, but thrived during every recession we've seen in the last couple of decades or the last 100 plus years. Maybe something that not only survived, but thrived during the Great Depression. Something that has survived and thrived during every single war, every single recession, every single problem that the planet has faced since the company or the business or real estate or whatever it is that you're focusing on has existed. Maybe, like I said before, if you were planning on investing $500, just like how I said before, if you were planning on getting $500 worth of silver, maybe you were planning on putting $500 into whatever you were planning on investing in this month, consider inflating that by about 8.6%. Maybe instead of 100 troy ounces of silver, maybe we're going to buy 100 shares of this company or whatever the case may be. Consider inflating that by 8.6%. Or somewhere within that range. It doesn't have to be exactly 8.6%. It's just an idea. Fighting inflation with inflation. But at the end of the day, if you are taking matters into your own hands, which, by the way, if you're stacking silver and gold, that's pretty much what you're doing. Taking matters into your own hands. Playing financial defense, or maybe if you're playing financial offense right now. Maybe your team has the ball. Maybe it's your time to score, whatever the case may be. Whether you're playing financial offense or defense, if you're in the game, you're already ahead of everyone else. Because you want to know what everybody else is doing? They're sitting at home watching the game on their TV. We're the ones playing. So regardless of what stage of the game you're in right now, offense versus defense, if you're playing right now, you're already ahead of most other people. So if you're stacking the silver, if you're stacking the gold, if you're playing financial defense that way, or if at this time you're a little bit more dialed in on business, stocks, real estate, financial offense, I think regardless of what your focus is right now, I think we're going to come out on top. In most cases, I do believe that to be true. And I do personally believe that inflation is when wealth transfers from those who are saving to those who are holding assets. I 100% believe that. That's what I go by. That's what makes sense to me. That's what I believe. And right now, during these times, I know that most people are looking at these inflation reports and seeing that every month it's getting worse. They're seeing that it went from 7% to 7.5% to 7.9% to 8.5%, down to 8.3%, now up to 8.6%. I understand that most people see that, including myself, and we say, that's not good. Not only is it not good, it's horrible, it's atrocious. Everything's getting more expensive. Nobody enjoys that process of having to go to the grocery store and every week you go to the grocery store, it just gets a little bit more pricey. Nobody likes that. Nobody agrees with that. Nobody wants for that to happen. But for those of us who are taking care of ourselves financially, those of us who are focusing on financial offense and or defense, I do believe it's going to pay off. I do believe once we get through all this, when the dust settles, because this too shall pass. This is not something this is not going to be for the rest of our lives. Things will get better, but it's going to get worse before it get better, unfortunately. But once we get to the point where we can actually finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, we're going to be the ones who really came out on top. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. I believe that to be true. And it's because we are building ourselves a financial preparation system. And not only that, a multifaceted financial preparation system. So as I always say, with the cash that I have left over at the end of the month, which I know every month that amount of cash is less and less and less because of prices going up, but the cash left over at the end of the month, whether it's $10, whether it's $100, whether it's $1,000, regardless, I do three things. Number one, I convert it into something that stands a better chance of storing value than the dollar bill. I don't want to leave it as currency. I take the currency and I inject it into silver and sometimes gold, because I believe it stands a far better chance of outliving the dollar bill. Call me crazy. It's been here thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's used all over the planet. I believe it stands a far better chance of storing value. I'm not saying I'm going to get rich off of it. I'm saying I believe it's going to store value better than the dollar bill, which devalues. That's one thing I like to do with the currency. Another thing I like to do is I like to invest it into something that ideally will appreciate in value, but also generate cash flow as well. That way, if something were to happen to my paycheck, that way, if something were to happen to my income, I can also little by little by little by little increase my income over here, even if it's just by $1 or $2 at a time. If I can add $1 to my annual income, or $2 or $5 to my annual income, and just do that over and over and over and over and over again, I can go from increasing my income from a couple of dollars to maybe a couple tens of dollars, or maybe a couple hundreds of dollars. And that's coming in passively. Cash flow. That's the second thing I'd like to do. And then, of course, the third thing that I like to do is spend it on something that I know for an absolute fact will save me currency in the long run. If I can spend the currency up front on something that will pretty much prevent me from having to spend currency on something related to that in the future, then that's what I'm going to do. The example I always give is the water purification unit. I spent about $225, maybe $250 on a water purification unit about maybe 2.5 to 3 years ago at this point, and guess what? I have not bought a single bottle of water. I have not purchased a gallon jug of water. I have not picked up a case of water from the store in about 3 years. I haven't spent a penny on water. It's because I spent $225, $250 on a water purification unit. I just purify my own water now. Stuff like that. Those are the three things that I like to do with the leftover currency. Convert it into something that stands a better chance of storing value, invest it in something that'll appreciate in value and generate cash flow, and then, of course, spend it on something that will save me currency in the long run. Those are just some ideas. I'm just throwing some things out there. Hopefully, this video was able to help someone out, or maybe just make an idea click in their head. Who knows? I know for a fact that when I go through and I watch videos for myself, or if I listen to a podcast, or if I'm reading a book, I'm not really reading a book or watching a video or listening to a podcast. What I'm actually doing is looking for my next $1 million idea. Or I guess you can say my first $1 million idea. I'm looking for value. I'm trying to get something out of the content that I consume. So hopefully this video was maybe able to do something like that for somebody out there. Anyway, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. What are your thoughts on 8.6%? Good God, what are your thoughts on that headline number? And then, of course, more importantly, when it comes to fighting inflation with inflation, are you taking the same approach as I am? Are you planning on inflating how much silver and gold you're picking up this month, or how much you're investing this month, business, stocks, real estate, whatever the case may be? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and a bunch of different designs. A lot of the products are helping us raise some funds and awareness for different charity organizations, by the way. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week, deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free, and every Saturday morning I post a brand new vlog, and there are a ton of other perks as well. VIP Club link in the description. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your 6 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Normally it's 2. They bumped it up to 6 for a limited time only, so capitalize on this while you can. You can deposit any amount, even if it's as little as a penny. It still works. It still counts. You still get your 6 free stocks. If you refer one friend to the app this month, Webull's going to give you 10 free stocks for the referral. I know it sounds ridiculous. This is part of their advertising budget. Rather than wasting currency on billboards and TV commercials, they reward their users for helping them build their app with them. And if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, not only will you get 10 free stocks for each of those referrals, that's 30 free stocks, but you're also going to get 1 to 15 free shares of Apple. It's a random number. Maybe you'll get all 15, maybe you'll get 10, or maybe you're going to get at least 1, but you're guaranteed at least 1, so you're winning no matter what. Don't pass up on an opportunity, Webull link in the description. Time is running out. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. They're free. Then just sell them. Congratulations. Now you have the cash to go and get you some silver or some gold, if that's what you want. Or maybe you can invest it. Capital appreciation, generate some cash flow. Or maybe you can spend it on something like a water purification unit. That way it'll save you currency in the long run. Webull link in the description. Again, don't pass up on an opportunity. Now's not the time to do that. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, what are your thoughts on everything shared in today's video? Of course, slightly focusing on the latest inflation report. According to the report, we're looking at 8.6%. We're looking at every single possible category on the rise for the month of May. What are your thoughts on that right there? Have you noticed when you go to the store? Have you noticed when you go to the gas station? Have you noticed when you buy things online? Have you noticed everything getting more expensive? And then, of course, more importantly, my concept of fighting inflation with inflation. Is that something you align with? Is that something that you're doing as well? Is that something that you believe in? Is that something that you're attempting? Are you inflating the stack by roughly 8.6% this month? Are you inflating how much silver and gold or how much you're investing by, ballpark 8.6% this month? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.